Good morning, everybody. It's me, Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an Ascension Master, Master Healer, and Divine Guide. I am the one who brought about the Ascension. This is not a small title to carry. It actually represents quite a bit. What does it mean to be the one who brought about the Ascension? A lot, and it's a lot to process. And I have everything for you on my channel in the Ascension playlist. But essentially what that means is that I had a Kundalini awakening 3 years ago. I went through my own processes of crazy things happening through me and to me that I didn't understand, from raising Atlantis, clearing Mount Shasta, cutting off Mount Shasta from life support, activating Fiji as the new root chakra of the earth, clearing all the pyramids, activating pyramids, not clearing them, sorry, activating all the pyramids, and much, much more, bringing down Christ's light, freeing Jesus's soul. I have done all of these things myself over the past 3 years, including uniting the twin flames, which was one hell of a journey. One hell of a journey. So for those who don't know me, that's a really quick little tidbit into what I've done, who I am, but it's much more layered than that. So I encourage you to check all that out, because just hearing that doesn't really mean anything, does it? But actually looking into what I'm saying and watching those videos is quite mind-blowing. So if you feel inclined to do that, if you feel drawn to understand what that is, then I encourage you to do so. Again, it is in on my Ascension playlist. It kind of shows you a little bit of everything. However, we are entering into a new phase of the Ascension journey, which is why I'm coming on today. I look this way, I'm coming on raw because I woke up bawling. Okay, bawling. I've been processing for a minute now, processing the last part of our journey. For those of you who do know me, hello, what up? It's so good to see you again. Thank you for always being here and supporting me and actually following what I do. You mean the world to me, you truly do. And not only to me, but to the Ascension as a whole. And for those who don't know me, welcome. And I only encourage you to get to know me and to look for the facts and the proof of all of that I say to you, because everything I say has proof. Okay, so all I ask is that you look for it and do your research and be mind blown and heal and ascend. Okay. However, we are entering into a new phase on the Ascension journey. And this I know because I've been processing every bit of what we went through, every bit of what we just recently went through. Okay, I have been processing it. And it has not been easy. Not only that, I almost died on my journey. For those who also don't know, so I'm already aware of that. I really did almost die more than one time. And my twin flame, his name was David, my Dan, he did die. Okay, and he got a walk-in to replace him. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to be here today. And in the end, the twin flames read as we have united, even though physically we had not. And that is the process that I came into. That is the part of the journey that I came into processing in a severe level today, like severe level today. Okay. I woke up just bawling for the angels and bawling for God and for the twin flames and for not being, I mean, I know I was strong. I know I survived things I should not have. Spirit kept calling me mahogany, right? Taking a lightning strike and keep on ticking. So I wasn't supposed to make it. I cleared out all the karma back to Adam and Eve. That's not a joke. That's who I am. The names are not Adam and Eve. His was David. My birth name is Brianna, but what Spirit calls me is Juniper Bloom Mystique. That was the name they gave me upon my awakening. I didn't pick that one. And I think they're very relevant. Okay, so the Bible wants you to believe certain things for a reason. However, those things that the Bible wants us to believe, and some of the things are distorted and things like that. And I just never related to the terms Adam and Eve. But I know who I am because I know what I've had to process. I know what I've spiritually woken up to and had to digest myself. And it's been a lot. So I literally had to go back and clear the karma all the way back to Adam and Eve. Okay. There's just a lot to talk about, so forgive me if I'm all over the place, but it's very relevant. It's very real for what's going on right now. I do have some cards. I may pull some in the end just to see. I was going to channel a message just to see, but I truly believe it doesn't matter if I use the tools. It's already in my heart. So here's the thing. For those who do know me and the things I repeat, forgive, right? The things that you're well aware of, forgive. Just bear with those parts. But we are literally dying right now. Okay, that's the best thing I can say. The world is dying right now. The earth is dying right now. The way things once were are dying right now. That's not a joke. Hence the image you see behind me. I picked this image because she's crying. It looks like she is absolutely crying. And that is how I woke up today. Literally at 4 o'clock this morning, I woke up processing the last part of my journey, realizing what happened, and just bawling and crying. So in the end of my journey, I was uniting the twin flames. I was clearing all the karma. My DM and I were supposed to unite the twin flames over a year ago. He was attacked by a fallen angel. I was attacked by a fallen angel, or multiple, they're saying, not just one, multiple, all the way up until a few months ago. Okay. I almost died. I've got blood clots. It was very painful. My arm was destroyed. Lots of things happened on that journey. You guys just aren't quite able to fathom, because it was a lot and it was very, very painful, and it's very real. These things were happening through me and to me, and I didn't understand them at the time. Just like everybody else's spiritual awakening, I'm having to process them as they happen. Okay. So it's not like I sit here and write a book and go, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this like everybody else you will see on fucking YouTube, excuse me. But they take their time, they'll research things, they do these kinds of things, and they put it all together and they bring it to you. Everything I have done for you is raw. It's happening in the moment, to me and through me. And I have no idea what's going on half the time until afterwards. I'm like, oh my God, did I just do that? Oh my gosh, this is real. Okay. I am real. And this has been a process for over the last 3 years. Even before the twin flame journey hit, I tried to blow out my own solar plexus, and I didn't know why. So I was clearing it. I raised Atlantis. Not only did I raise Atlantis, we ascended Atlantis. So I took Atlantis from 5D to 7D in the end. But during that time, I brought the crystals back. Like, I reactivated the crystals of Atlantis. And I remember before the twin flame, I didn't know the twin flame journey was coming. But I remember taking that crystal and putting it in my solar plexus, and I blew up my solar plexus. And I had to come on one of my videos because I was doing a workshop for the Ascension, and I'm like, I have to wait 3 days. I had to postpone the workshop to rebuild my solar plexus. And I didn't know why I did that. I was like, maybe I didn't want everybody to ascend. But in truth, Spirit actually told me it was the twin flame journey I was afraid of. Okay, now I know why. So the story of Adam and Eve, right? Eve ate the apple? No, that's not what happened at all. What really happened is Adam and Eve, quote unquote, the true descendants of God, it's who I am. I have access to thousands of chakra systems within my vessel because I am a direct descendant of God, okay? It's real. I don't want any competition. I'm not trying to hear anybody else's opinions of it. It just is what it is. Do your research, please. Okay? Please, that's all I ask. Because it's been a lot for me to process. And so I don't want judgment. I just want you to check out to what I'm saying. Okay. But Adam and Eve were attacked by fallen angels. Okay. It wasn't as simple as, oh, don't eat the apple from the fruit tree. It was, and it wasn't at the same time. It was much more complicated. It was much more layered, just like every other bit of the earth, from Salem, Massachusetts to Catholicism to Christianity is also part of that. It's just another layer of that, to KKK. Like, all of those things fall under the same umbrella of what we were attacked by. Okay, and it was just layered, and they kept doing it. They kept taking their time and taking the light out of this planet one by one by one. And that's what happened. Okay, they came in and attacked Adam and Eve. I don't like that name because I don't relate to that name. However, it was a false goddess. Okay, Adam got duped by the false goddess because it was me who came in to try to bring him back and save him this lifetime, and that's not a joke. So the twin flame journey happened this lifetime, And see, here's the thing. I want to talk to you guys about this because it's very serious. So I truly hope you guys listen to this, because in the Bible, they talk about the apple tree, right? They were told not to eat the apple from the tree. Well, in this lifetime, I grew up around a bunch of drugs, like my whole family. Everybody I knew was either heroin addicts, coke addicts, you name it, right? I've never done that stuff. The one thing I did do was smoke pot, okay? And I became addicted to it. I don't care if you say it's not. It is, right? It is. And that's one thing I battled. And every time I would get the nudge to quit, I would, throughout my whole entire life. And I'm like, it was really, I had not a normal journey looking back. I can see that now. But every time I was nudged to quit, I would quit. I would follow whatever my intuition told me to do. I was not awake yet. I was not into spirituality. I was not doing healings, nothing, until I had my Kundalini awakening 3 years ago. It's not that I wasn't aware of it. I was very well aware of what it was. I just didn't do it. It wasn't my thing. But I always struggled with pot. And now I know why. Okay, it's very relevant. So if you think back to Adam and Eve, they were duped. They said, don't eat the apple from the apple tree, right? Well, I met my DM a few years ago now when I moved where I'm at. And I didn't know anything about twin flames or anything, but my spirit did tell me he was my twin flame. And it was a very rough meeting. He was not nice. He was into drugs. He is dead now. And so I don't feel like I'm disrespecting him by telling this. Nope. But he was a coke dealer. He was a drug addict. Most people don't know that part. Okay, that is why I was like, he treated me like shit. He was the runner. And I was supposed to help him. Spirit kept telling me, help him. And I'm like, he won't listen to me. He won't listen to me. And then all of a sudden, I got these cravings for pot like I had never had before, you guys. I'm telling you, it was like everybody's addiction wrapped into one. It was so strong. And the person I was with at the time, because I was with somebody else, I was like, I don't know what's happening. And he's like, yeah, I don't either. This is weird. It's not like you, like, what? Like, we didn't get it. But it was overcoming me. Like, it was these major cravings all of a sudden because I had connected with my twin flame. And this was starting the twin flame journey, which I was so scared about. When we connected, it was like our chakras connected, these weird things were happening to us, and these contracts were eliminated and then re-signed. The old contracts were red, new ones were written in like white. And I'm like, what is happening? I didn't understand it at the time. And you can go all the way back to Adam and Eve and relate it to this time and who I am on the ascension. I literally cleared the whole earth of all the darkness, the collective shadow. Then it was the twin flame journey. Okay. Adam, David, was the one who was really taken over by the darkness. And now I know that I was to help pull him out, which I did to a big degree, but not almost losing my life, being very heartbroken and devastated. And in the end, he died. But we cleared it. And I was able to unite the twin flames energetically because of all the mishaps. They haven't all physically combined, but energetically, the blueprint shows that they have, which is the return of Christ. The return of Christ is actually the return of Adam and Eve coming back together because the darkness came in and ripped them apart. Okay, ripped all the twin flames apart, ripped Adam and Eve apart, which killed Atlantis, which was my heart. I saw it all die. I saw myself die. So relate the Adam and Eve to Atlantis. That was the beginning of time. Okay. It is. That's what it is. Okay. And I cleared it. Now we are entering into the phase now because this morning I woke up processing that final part of the ascension journey that I was on. I woke up just bawling and wanting God to forgive me and wanting the angels to forgive me. And because in this lifetime, it was really hard. I don't know how I made it. They would even tell me that they knew I was strong enough, but they didn't even think I was going to make it. We almost didn't make it on the ascension. And most people aren't aware of that. We almost didn't make it. But somehow I pulled through. And then when my DM died, I had to take all his light on. And when I did that, I was attacked again. And I didn't understand it. So I was too weak this time. I was too tired. This was just back in August of this year. He died, and I took on all his light so that I can unite the twin flames. And this is what I woke up crying about, is because I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't strong enough at that time, after all the battle I went through on the twin flame journey, healing the collective shadow, doing all the work I did over the last 3 years. Activating the pyramids had enlarged my heart. And so when my twin flame died and I took on his light, God had said in my workshop that they were going to unite within weeks. And it didn't happen that way because I couldn't hold on to the light. I was immediately attacked again, and I'm all alone. It's not like I have a lot of people I can call on and go, hey, help me, because everybody has this internal thing, you know what I mean? And so I can look back now, because that's the part I'm processing, and I'm like, son of a bitch, if only I was stronger. But I don't know if I could have been any stronger, right? Like, I don't know anybody else that could have made it through what I made it through. That's not ego. That's the reality. It was very painful, very painful. I don't think you guys understand the pain of what I've cleared in the twin flame journey, especially over this last year. It was something I would never wish to go through again. I don't ever want to go through again. I would not wish it on my worst enemy. But the crazy thing is, there's so much love there also for the twin flames. But I was disappointed. I'm like, I wish I was strong enough. I couldn't hold on to it. I was completely attacked right away again, just because the DM's energy was that way. When he was, when God said enough and his soul was ripped out of his body, I have a workshop of that from August 30th. He was around fallen angels. He would never leave them. It was really bad. They were really fighting for his soul, and my soul essentially also. And I couldn't get him to pull out of it. His heart had become blackened at that time a little bit, and he had blood on his hands. And God said enough is enough. He had a choice. And then they ripped his soul out of his body, and they put all of his light into me, and I swelled up. My face was like, I like literally swelled up so bad. I couldn't function. I was so tired. But then all of a sudden, it was like, I couldn't see it then as much as I see it now. But it was just like being attacked all over again. And that is when God came in very quickly recently and gave my new DM the light. Okay. But after that, I activated our DNA together. I combined the DMs and DS, the twin flames DNA, which is why in the blueprint, I hope you're keeping up with me, this is a lot, which is why in the blueprint of the earth, looking from the outside in, it looks like the return of Christ has already occurred and all the twin flames are already united. Because I couldn't hold on to it. Okay. And so are we yet physically? No, my DM will determine that, unfortunately. My new one. Whenever we come together, we will all physically come together. But I'm sorry about that. Like, I woke up feeling so sad that I couldn't just hold on to that I wasn't strong enough. And I keep thinking, maybe if I wasn't so alone, maybe, if Pamela was on my journey and she didn't judge me and she was still around, I would have had the support or the help or the constant healings. Or there's all these things going through my mind of, damn it, why wasn't I good enough? Why wasn't I strong enough? But that's my point. That's what brings me to this video today, is that we are dying. Okay. I'm processing the final stage now of what we just went through. The earth is dying. The old world is dying. We are in the final phase of the ascension, which is death and rebirth. Okay. Hence the image that you see. So if you can't feel your body, if you can't feel your emotions, if you can't process and heal right now, you could be in trouble. And that's not a joke. Okay. We are in the final phase of the ascension, which is death to rebirth. Okay. If you chose not to clear certain amounts of karma, everything's free will, right? But you're going to feel it right now. So twin flames, believe when I tell you we have united energetically, but physically we're still waiting on that. Okay. And you're going to feel that in your reality. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm sorry that I wasn't strong enough. I don't think you understand the strength that it took from me and the pain that I went through and endured. It's unfathomable, and I don't want to ever go through it again. But even though I feel like I wasn't strong enough, I did it. I succeeded. I cleared all the darkness. We cleared the collective shadow. We cleared addictions because I don't feel that anymore. It was very painful to do that. I don't think you guys realize that. It is for the collective whole. It's a lot to think about. It is a lot to feel and a lot to process, but I'm literally finally processing the last part of what once was this world. Okay. And my next workshop course, I will be activating all dimensions combined. So you know how they talk about Bigfoot and fairies and all these different things? Well, they're all in different dimensions. And we rose to 7D, not 5D. I took us to 7D because of the journey. I just kept going and kept going, bringing down more Christ light and healing myself and having people through my academy heal me when I could. And that is the reason I survived. And not only did I survive, I took us beyond 5D. Okay, so we are processing even further than we were meant to before. But we are in the final phase of the ascension, which is death and rebirth. That's not a joke. Judgment Day is very real. And I will talk about this too later on Facebook, because that's what Spirit wants to talk about, is if we can't feel our emotions, if your vessel is unpure, meaning if you do drugs, even medications, even marijuana, you cannot heal. You have to sober up in order to process and heal. Okay. So if I were you, I would cleanse your system out and cleanse it out fast, just so you can feel what you need to feel, to process what you need to process, to let die what needs to die, so that we can be reborn. Because either you're reborn here or you're going to be reborn somewhere else. That's not a joke. And it's not about, ooh, fear. The ascension is not essentially about living in two worlds at the same time. That is not going to be the way it is going to be. That's a division, and that's not God. Okay, that's what the Bible has done. That's what government does. We're literally living two, everything's separate, segregated, separated. That is not God, okay? So temporarily, we're kind of living two worlds. We've got certain people who can see it, certain people who can't. But it will not remain that way. You're either reborn here, our old selves are dying, the old world is dying, okay? All of the karma has to be cleansed and healed, or you don't ascend necessarily. Okay, maybe not in this lifetime, maybe not fully. Here's the sad part about my old twin flame, as I was thinking about that. He had a kid, all his family, they didn't get to ascend because he didn't. Okay, part of his soul that was the soulmate part went backwards. He was reincarnated into something else. The David that I knew died. He did die. And then my twin flame part got put into a new soulmate. So I have a new twin flame. I have a new soulmate. Still my soul and his soul combined. It's very strange. And I feel him. And I feel his love. And I already care about him deeply. Like, very much so. I don't know him yet. I think he knows me. He knows of me. I know nothing about him. And so if you think for 1 second, the ascension is just a metaphorically or just simply energetically or things like that, you're wrong. Recently on here too, I talked about the Hunga Tonga Punga, and I laugh every time. It's a direct line from Fiji, where I activated the pyramid in Fiji, and it became the root chakra of the earth. Okay, there's a direct line to the Hunga Tonga Punga. 1 year ago, the Hunga Tonga Punga exploded. I talked about that about a week or two ago, and then all of a sudden it was volcano after volcano. If you're not paying attention, because they're not telling you the truth. So be careful who you're listening to. Because if too many people talk about it actually on here, they're cutting you off. You're getting like threats. They're shutting your channels off still to this day. So there's a reason for that. Okay, we've got energetic bursts from all the work that I've done are coming crazy. The volcanoes are erupting one after the other. Boom, boom, boom. Even my mom was like, that's not normal. Like, no, it's not. I'm talking big ones. Boom. Like, was there one in Chile yesterday? There was another one the other day. It's been one after the other since I talked about the Tonga Punga Hunga, whatever. There's a reason I mentioned that. Okay. Did it exactly mean that it was the Tonga that was going to explode? No, they don't tell you which ones. They aren't going to tell you which ones. That would be like, oh, looky, that you can't do that. Okay. That's not going to happen. No psychic in the world is going to be able to tell you exact dates. No psychic in the world is that's bullshit. They're lying to you. Okay. They're not going to be able to tell you because energy moves, right? And there's no way I'd be able to tell you, hey, heads up, this volcano is going to erupt. Why? Why would you think that is? Because then people might A, freak out in that area, or B, try to prevent it, which you can't do. You can't bypass God. You can't. So what I was talking about is they were going to explode, and they have been in a very big way, one after the other. Boom, boom, Mauna Wala, what? The Mauna in Hawaii. I don't know all the words, the names. The Mauna one in Hawaii was one of the first ones. Then there's one in Chile. There's one over here. So it's been like nonstop. You add that with the processing that I'm going through. The processing of the final part of the twin flame journey just happened today. You guys don't know this, but I've been waking up almost every day for like weeks now, processing, crying certain parts of the journey. And I do it all by myself. And in somewhat of a void. Like I feel like I'm disconnected, but I'm not. I'm very much connected, still doing my healing sessions, still channeling messages. It just feels muffled. It feels like it's not easy. Okay. This is literally where the earth is at right now. Okay. Because I'm so attached to the earth. The earth is mine. This is my planet. It is. It's not ego. I'm not going, ooh. The true king and queen is Adam and Eve, the twin flames. He and I own this planet. That's the truth. That's what happened. That's what got taken out. That's what got taken over. And then slowly they were taking over all of the planet, removing all of the light. Well, guess what I did? I came in with a vengeance, had an awakening, and then it was boom, 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 removing all of the darkness and healing it all the way through the twin flame journey. So did I have mishaps? Fuck yeah, I did. It hurt like a son of a bitch, and I made mistakes. But guess what? I did it. I survived, I succeeded, and we won like shit. Okay, we won big time. Not only did we win, we surpassed our goal. Went from 5D to 7D. Okay, so I will be now activating the DNA of the planet to meet all the dimensional frequencies and beings. That's the next step. So do you think you might have more sightings of what you call Bigfoot and different creatures you've never seen before? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes. Okay. And for those who are ready and willing to be able to heal with those beings in 7D and 5D and things, will have the ability to do so if they do that workshop right away. And then they'll process as they go beyond that. But you guys, for the real, we are in the journey part right now where we are dying. Everything is dying. We are at the end of the processing stage. Okay. I told you we went into the purging the shadow stage a while ago. I talked about that on here. It's been a while, almost a year, I think. And now we are out of that and we are into the death and rebirth. It's time to die. Okay. Don't be afraid of death. Don't be afraid of spiritual death. Don't be afraid of, not necessarily like our spiritual selves are no longer going to be spiritual. I'm talking about everything that once was no longer will be. Okay. Everything this planet once was no longer will be. We are going backwards and forward in time all at the same time. So we took it all the way back to who really rightfully belongs to this planet, Adam and Eve and God, and then the twin flames, and it is a ranking order. Okay. When the angels would come to me and bow, I didn't understand that. I would freak out. Like, what the hell's happening? And other people would tell me they're bowing to you. And I'm like, what the hell? No, like, what? I didn't get it. I do now. Okay. This is my planet, and it is my DM's planet, and it is God's planet all over again. The twin flames and all of light has now returned. Okay. And everything is dying. It's not just me processing this. It is the entire collective whole. They're a little bit behind me. Okay. But it is truly the end game. Like, this is it. This is the final phase of the ascension. Death. And then rebirth. And then, it's done. Okay. Don't be afraid. If you're afraid, that's where trouble comes in. Okay. Because then we don't want to feel, we want to hide, we want to cower, we don't want to feel our emotions, we don't want to feel the processing, we don't want to know what's going to happen, we don't want to know what's coming. We hide, we cower, we put masks on, we take shots, and fear. Which I'm going to tell you one more time, there's a reason there was a push not to take that V, because you cannot receive the DNA activations. You will no longer be viable as a human species. Okay, don't believe that, do your research. Look at everything. You have to take all the pieces of everything to get the answer. Okay. We are absolutely in the final phase. We are in the death phase of the ascension. Okay. Death, 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 death. What is death? Death is also rebirth. Do we really die? Yeah, we don't die necessarily, right? Certain things die. We change. Okay. We change. We become something different. We either grow into something different or we go backwards. Okay. We either let in more light or we dim the light. It's light and dark, not heaven and hell. Light and dark. The yin and yang is male and female. There should be a king and a queen, not Republican and Democrat. There's something wrong there. Two masculines duking it out, saying who's right and who's wrong and looking for control. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with why the true goddess was suppressed. Females were suppressed. The true goddess was suppressed, was taken out. That's what happened. Okay. False goddess came in, duped Adam, David, which was his lifetime, and knocked it out. Knocked out the true goddess, Eve, knocked out all the light. Okay. And this lifetime, I did my damnedest to heal him, to bring it back, to listen to God, to follow that light, to not smoke, even though the nudge was so hard. It was like a collective addiction I can't even describe. It was the worst addiction feeling. And I had to be strong enough to go against that, which I did. We cleared the collective shadow. Like, this earth belongs to a king and a queen. That's what the yin and yang represents, masculine and feminine. And it's all coming back. But in order to do that, everything is dying. That was false. Okay. It is the end time. We have just switched into the final phase. And if you're a twin flame and you haven't united yet, it's going to feel like you have. So anything that goes against that, anything that's not goes in line with unconditional love, it's going to hurt you. Okay, so be very careful. That's why everything we do has to be heart-centered as a twin flame, because energetically we've combined, because that's the way it had to be. Okay, I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough. I wish I could go back again, even just to last August, and be stronger. But I was so tired. My physical vessel as a human being couldn't take much more. And you can see, if you look, I'm getting skinnier again a little bit. My face is healing a little bit. It's a very slow process. And so if you think it's not real, if you think everybody gets to just stay here, you're wrong. You are absolutely unequivocally wrong. Okay. Just pay attention and buckle up. And if you cannot heal right now, if you cannot feel and process the death, you're in trouble. I can't. Like, I remember the first time you have to quit smoking, you have to, even smoking pot, like you wouldn't think that, right? Because it's part of the earth, it's part of this. But if it's in your system, you cannot heal. You cannot fully heal because you cannot fully feel. We have to be able to feel it, see it, express it, experience it, release it, purge it, gone. Okay. That's why most people would choose not to heal. They're like, oh, it's too painful. It hurts. You have to see these things. You have to feel these things. And as a collective whole, we are purging and dying what was. That's the phase we're going into. That's what the earth is going into, is death of what she once was. She will not be called Earth anymore. Okay. I don't know if it's going back to Atlantis. It's like Atlantis 2.0. I don't know what it's going to be called. They haven't told me that part. They just told me it won't be called Earth anymore. That's a new dimension, right? I'm taking those dimensions together and I will be activating the DNA. And so for those who partake, you'll be able to be one of the first-hand ones to heal and receive healing and meet these new dimensional beings and things like that. That's coming next. I'm so excited. Also in the monthly membership, I will be healing the patterning of the shadow, because I already did a course for healing the collective and individual shadow. But now I will be just adding a little bit on to heal the patterning and the damage done by that from the shadow. That will be coming on the 18th for my membership people. My VIPs will get that one. And it just goes with the phase of the ascension. It shows you exactly what's going on in the ascension right now. Okay. The old world is dying and we are uniting with the new one. And if you're not able to feel it and see it and process and follow those challenges and clear that karma and continue going on this difficult journey that we are all on, because it's not fucking easy. If you're truly ascending, you're not in la la land going, living a normal life. You're not. You're feeling it, you're processing, you're purging, you're healing. Things are clunky, things are moving around in your reality and you're like, what the hell is happening, right? That, my friends, is the death and rebirth. And we have entered that phase completely as of about 2 nights ago, is what they're saying. The full moon. That phase cycle shifted the death, okay? And it's painful. So I literally woke up bawling the final part of the twin flame journey. It's a process. It's just like everything else came to me, my awakening. You know, it doesn't all come in one dose. You get little pieces and you heal it. You get little pieces and you heal it. Here's the thing about that, is if you can't feel, you ain't getting shit. Okay. If you cannot process it, if you are medication based of any kind, if you are using drugs of any kind, you cannot heal and process. You can't. And I have seen some crazy things on this journey. I was not even supposed to be able to heal my brother. Did you know that? I used to have dreams when I was a kid that I could heal the world and I could never help him. And I got to do a healing on him and I watched him change so much, and he'd rather stay at home than go party. He'd rather his system be pretty clear. Like, it's amazing to watch these things. So proud. So proud. I could cry. So if you're ascending, it's a challenge. You're not just sitting back going, do, 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 do. Because we have to die. We are dying here, or we are physically dying and we'll come back another time if we're lucky. Because Judgment Day truly is this. Some will go, some will stay, some will never know life this way. That is the epitome of Judgment Day. That is exactly what Spirit said. And I am the one who brought it about, okay? So I had to experience it firsthand, and it hurts like a son of a bitch, okay? So I just want to pull one card to see where the Ascension journey is specifically, just as like a validation, see what my Crow Tarot card deck has to say. So you show us exactly where the Ascension is at right now. I like tools. Do I need cards? No, but I like them. They're great validation. They're great tools into learning to communicate deeper with Spirit. And that's what they're really used for. One more. That's what they're saying. Where is the Ascension at right now? Whoa, the world. That was weird. Okay. Okay, so this is what they said, okay? And I told you about the king and queen and then being reborn, okay? So we have King of Pentacles, right? The King of Pentacles. It shows you where we're at on the journey. So is the king finally the full king yet? Almost. Almost. King of the land. almost. Then we have the Queen of Swords. I can't make this up. King and Queen. I told you. This is where we're at on the Ascension. The King and Queen is now taking over. Okay. That means everything that's not that has to die. And then we have the Fool. New beginnings. Okay. New beginnings into the King and Queen, the United Kingdom. And that is the red flame healing that I did the other day too. That's what I told you. Bringing in the United Kingdom. That's what it's about. King and Queen should rule the land, not what it has been, right? It should be King and Queen. And that is what we're coming into. So this is my earth. This is my DM's earth. And if you think I'm wrong, ask again. Keep asking. Do your research. Ask spirit yourself. If you're truly connected, if you can read the Akasha records, you should be able to see it all because it's all in there. Okay. That's why I will see people like, I'll do the work, right? And then I'll see spirit like put it out in the collective. And then I'll see a certain few. There's only a certain few who can truly tune into that higher frequency. And I can show them who they are. I can absolutely unequivocally show you who they are. Other people tune into different layers. Okay. So be mindful of that. But I can't make it up with the fact that we have now died and we are going to be reborn. And that's what's playing out in the earth at this time. So we have entered into that phase for the planet. Spiritually, we're ahead of that, right? I'm there. I've just processed the end of my twin flame journey. And I'm sure my DM has to catch up a little bit. I just worry. Like, I worry because God picked him. I don't know who he is. And I'm like, what if he really does not like me, right? That's scary. That's a true... talk about arranged marriage because I don't know him. I've never met him, but he knows me, apparently, probably through the videos. So I don't know who he is. So that's neither here nor there. I think that's just the nervousness of meeting somebody new that I'm supposed to be married to. But we all go through that, right? I cannot reiterate enough. I thought it was going to be the death card. Okay, but that's what I was already processing. So that's what I'm talking about. That's why I woke up bawling. I have absolutely already processed the death. And now it's about uniting the king and the queen, becoming the king and queen's land, king of pentacles, king of the land, queen of power, king of the land, queen of power, new beginnings. That's beautiful. I did not expect that at all. I figured it was going to be something else entirely in the cards, like the death card and justice, but we've already done that. We are finally in the processing phase. We are in the death phase. Okay. So that means the trickle down, right? If I'm the first one that receives it, it's going to trickle down to the collective whole over the next 3 months or so. Just death. Okay. Don't be afraid of death. Death is essentially a new beginning. It's essentially being reborn. Okay. Things have to die. You better sober up. You better be able to feel your emotions. You better be able to understand who you are and process what needs to be processed. Because if we can't, it will put you behind on the ascension. Because right now things are speeding up and we're about to go into new beginnings. Okay. So we're just in the final phases of the earth of the death. And you can see it in the volcanoes. It's all playing out for you. You can't activate pyramids and not have crazy things happen. It's been, if you pay attention to the videos I did in the time frames and then watch it play out in the earth, it's going to blow your fucking mind because it did mine. Okay. I can't deny it. I can't deny who I am. I can't deny what I've done. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing shit. It's mind blowing. And so when I tell you it's very real and be ready, hopefully you can receive it, these kinds of things. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. It's a big deal. And it makes sense to what I've been healing through. It makes sense to what I've been struggling through, quite alone, mind you. It's very difficult, very difficult. And even when it's difficult for me to even, like, so sometimes I'm like, I just wish my DM was here. I wish he could help me through these times. I would give anything for that, but there were such mishaps on the journey and mine died. And now my new one is going through his process. And I just wish I would have held on to that blue light, because all the twin flames would have physically united. And I'm very sorry that I couldn't. That's what I woke up crying about. I was just bawling and bawling. You can see I was just bawling and bawling, telling God I'm sorry, telling the angels I'm sorry. And then they reminded me that I succeeded beyond what I was supposed to. That was not an easy journey. And we are energetically combined. If you are in the darkness or anything else looking, even other galaxies can look at our planet now, and it is as if Christ has returned and the twin flames have united.